Hello and welcome to another edition of Currently in Quincy. I'm Joe Catalano, and on today's program, it's all about the Wollaston Garden Club's upcoming spring plant sale. We'll hear all about it. First, though, we check weather and news for you. Currently in Quincy, it is beautiful out there. Sunshine and clouds, 60 degrees. Temperatures today will climb into the upper 70s with a mix of sun and clouds. Just comfortable for this time of year. Another nice night this evening with a few clouds around. Lows drop off into the upper 50s. That sets the stage for a pretty mild day tomorrow. Look at the temperatures in the low 80s with a mix of sun and clouds. Still pretty nice on Wednesday. It'll be rather breezy. Highs Wednesday only into the lower 60s. There's a chance for some frost in some places on Wednesday evening. Temperatures will dip into the lower 40s, maybe even upper 30s in some locations. But we rebound on Thursday with abundant sunshine and mild temperatures again in the mid 60s. Again, some hazy sunshine, 60 in Quincy right now. Checking news for you today, Quincy Mayor Thomas Koch expected to present his proposed budget for the next fiscal year to the City Council tonight at City Hall. The budget presentation is later than usual this year, but Koch says it still falls within the guidelines of getting it to the City Council 45 days before the start of the new fiscal year. City Council President Noel DeBona says the budget will reflect pay raises that were negotiated for city workers and teachers.
Also have to look in the fact that we've had a 3% increase on all of the workers throughout the city. The teachers have agreed to their contracts, so everybody's a 3% across the board. So you have the city workers, you have the police, fire, and the teachers. So every city worker has to 3%. And then there's a retro, and I believe the mayor put in the appropriation of the supplemental that can help out that previous year. So he was really smart about putting that in the budget previously. So I think we're where we need to be, Joe, as a city. Obviously, there's going to be always room for improvement. And what we can do is just attack the areas that we can attack and be smart about and be cognizant about the fact that the interest rates are up. When the way we'd come in front of the council over the previous years and say, well, the rates are really good, and they were, but now the rates are climbing. So we have to be cognizant of bonding and what we're going to do with the future.
Mayor says the budget will reflect a moderate increase in payments for pensions after the city borrowed $475 million to pay off the pension bond obligation. But Koch says that borrowing will save the city about $125 million over the next 20 years. Retired Quincy firefighters could be hired as special firefighters under a plan approved recently by the Quincy City Council. Mayor Thomas Koch asked the council to approve allowing retired firefighters to work paid details to take pressure off of active duty firefighters. Mayoral spokesman Chris Walker says the increased development across the city means more work for both the police and fire departments.
Over the course of the last several years, there have been more private details required of our fire department. And the more there are, the harder they become to fill. People are busy, they don't want to fill them. The police department has been the same issue, really to a greater extent, just because of the amount of work that's going on in town. There's just so much detail work out there. The police have had a hard time filling all the essential details. I know I've seen retired Captain Dugan out on Marymount Parkway at least 3 times every week for the last month or so. So he's picking up some details on that project. But this would just give the fire department the same authority to bring some folks back, especially on the younger end of that retirement age that could be working private details to fill some of the gaps.
So under the plan, retired Quincy firefighters could be hired as special firefighters to work details such as large functions, construction sites, and fire watch details. The retired firefighter would serve for 1 year and could be reappointed by the chief up to the age of 70. The Quincy Firefighters Union approves of the measure, which also requires State House approval. Quincy Fire Department could be getting a 4th ladder truck soon. Last week, Mayor Thomas Koch announced the addition of the 4th ladder truck that will be initially positioned at the Howes Neck Fire Station. Koch said the increased staffing levels on the fire department allow for the addition of the 4th ladder truck.
At the end of the day, it's all about safety. It's about the safety of you, and it's about the safety of the people we serve. Response time is so important in the fire service, as you know. Every second counts and matters. The amount of bodies on the truck matters. So it's about your safety, and again, it's about responding to the people in need in the city, in every corner of our city. Somebody pointed out to me the other day that, you know, we're the 7th largest city in Massachusetts. We're the 12th largest city in New England. That's pretty remarkable when you think about that. Not in an ego sense, but in a sense when you put it in perspective.
Quincy hasn't had 4 ladder trucks since budget cuts back in the late 1980s. Chief Joe Jackson says the addition of the 4th ladder will allow for 2 engines and a ladder to respond to every emergency in a very short period of time. Quincy has a new ladder on order and recently purchased 2 lightly used ladder trucks. Ladder trucks are currently positioned at fire headquarters and in Wollaston and North Quincy. Long term, the plan is to position a ladder truck at the West Quincy Fire Station, but that still needs pretty extensive renovations. 18 people who have experienced homelessness will have permanent new supportive housing in Quincy Point. NeighborWorks Housing Solutions of Quincy recently dedicated a new 18-unit housing development that replaced 4 multifamily homes on Winter Street. Now, the $5 million project received funding from city and state programs and from Eastern Bank. During a recent ribbon-cutting ceremony, State Senator John Keenan of Quincy said the project will provide the new tenants with a home that most people take for granted.
If I don't say it, I'll certainly feel it, that it's good to be home. And for too many people in our Commonwealth, they don't get to experience that. They don't have a place that they can call home. On a day like today, they may be sleeping in the woods, trying to get into a warm place to get a warm cup of coffee. They don't have a place that they can call home. For 18 people, they're going to be able to live here, open up their closet, and maybe have a couple pairs of pants and a couple shirts. They might have slippers next to their bed for the first time. They'll open up the refrigerator and maybe have some food in there for the first time. They'll be able to take a shower on a daily basis for the first time in a long time for so many of them. And when they go out and they come back, they'll be able to walk through the door, and my guess is that they'll say out loud, "It's good to be home," and if they don't say it, they're certainly going to feel it. So for all of you that have done the work on this project, you've changed lives, you've given people a place to call home. And it's not done just by one person, one group, it's so many working together. So congratulations to you all for changing the lives of so many and giving them a place to call home. Thank you.
11 of the 18 new tenants will be coming from Father Bill's and Main Springs homeless shelter system. The tenants will pay 30% of whatever income they earn, and they'll be guaranteed permanent homes. They were selected by a lottery system. Well, 9 Quincy residents were among 31 Quincy College students recently inducted into the local chapter of Phi Theta Kappa. It's an international academic honor society that focuses on leadership, scholarship, fellowship, and service. The society was founded in 1908, has about 250,000 members at almost 1,300 community college in 11 nations. More than 3.5 million students have been inducted into that society, which has more than $90 million available in scholarships for members. Each student received a certificate of membership and a traditional white rose during a recent ceremony. It's our check of news for you today. Coming up, Ann Forsman and Kathy Curvels of the Wollaston Garden Club are here to talk about their upcoming spring plant sale. That's next. Welcome back. You know it's spring when the studio here is turned into an indoor garden center for the folks at the Wollaston Garden Club, and that has happened once again. Please welcome Kathy Curvels and Forsman to the program to talk about the club and about the upcoming spring plant sale. Hi, ladies.
Hey,
Good morning. Thanks for having us.
Great to see you both.
Oh, yeah.
I want to call you the gardening gals. Is that okay?
Not really.
No? Okay.
I don't care.
Well, we used to have the Beach Boys when we had the Friends of Wollaston Beach.
Okay.
Okay.
So I think of the gardening gals of the Wollaston Garden
yeah,
Club. But there's also men, right, Kathy?
There are men in our club,
Yeah.
and so yeah, that wouldn't be cool.
Okay, yeah, we don't want to discriminate, certainly.
No.
So 90-something years for the club
Yes.
now?
94, 95.
More than that, I think, yeah.
Long before us, and we just wanted to continue long after us.
Right,
You know, keep
exactly.
the tradition going.
Sure.
But I think it's changed and evolved over the years. When it was first put together by the Wollaston Ladies Club or whatever
Okay.
it was called, and I'm sorry that I'm not getting that correct, but it has evolved more into what we do now, which is hands-on gardening.
Right.
You know, and I think that's what attracts people to us, is that we're outside, if we can be, and we're doing fun stuff and learning new things.
And it's not seasonal. You're doing something pretty much all
We
year.
are.
right? Yeah.
We meet seasonally. We
Yeah.
meet from September to
May.
June.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and then July and August we of course are in our gardens, but we do strolls. We get together in small groups
Yep.
and do field trips and like it's
Yeah.
good. It's good.
And maintain a lot of the different public spaces throughout the city, right?
Yes, we absolutely do.
Yeah.
It's so. Thank you for mentioning that. Because I recently was asked, "What does your garden club do?" And we started pointing out some of the civic beautification projects that we have going, our scholarships that we've got going. But
Yes.
when people see, oh yeah, that garden's maintained, Safford Park is maintained, the Wollaston Library planters are maintained, the
Yeah.
beautiful gardens here at Thomas Crane. I'd love to take credit. It's really two individuals
From our
club.
But yes.
But I mean, and then other individuals from our club that do the Dorothy Quincy House. I mean, people in our club have their hands in the dirt all over the place.
It's the kind of thing I think that would be noticed if it didn't get done.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
people kind of take it for granted because it's always there and it's always
Right.
looking lovely.
Right.
But if there wasn't volunteers like folks from the club, that would be noticeable for sure.
It's true. Like we
Absolutely.
were doing Cleaner Greener this past Saturday
Yeah.
at Newport and Beale. That is one of the most busiest intersections for cars and
Oh,
everything,
sure.
but also for walkers.
Yes.
And people were just stopping and saying, "Oh, thank you for doing that," and "Oh, who are you?"
Right,
or whatever,
right,
you
right.
know. But there was a crew of us, and we did the hillside, which comes down across from the fire
Yeah.
station, and then Newport and Beale. And a lot of times it's just cars going by or people standing, pressing the light, and just turning and looking, and get to enjoy for a moment. You know. So
absolutely.
we're happy to do it.
Yeah, and I think it also is good recognition for the club to maybe get you some new members, perhaps too.
It doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
Any kind of public presence is always good for us.
Well, there's new
And
people coming into the city, right, all the time, and maybe looking for an outlet like that. But
And we have, there are two women who organize cleanup. It's not like we're just not there on Cleaner Greener Day.
Sure.
Dee
Right.
Condon and Pam McIsaac organize crews that work that corner, the hillside across from the Wollaston Fire Department,
Yep.
and Safford Park, and they're out there every week. So they alternate sites. But yeah, there's constantly people that, if anybody did like what they were doing, people to talk to about it.
right.
So we definitely have met some of the neighbors that way.
Yeah. How many members now, Kathy, in the club?
119.
119. Okay. And how does that compare to recent years? Would you say?
I think that we've always been what would be considered a good-sized garden club. I don't know, since I joined, which was probably about 13 years ago now, it's steadily gone up.
Good.
Which has been not the case for a lot of local garden clubs, between just declining age, factors and then the pandemic,
Right.
all that, so that we have new members coming that are being brought in maybe by a friend and again, when we have a meeting, we usually put it in the paper and say, open to the public.
Yes,
And just
yeah.
come and enjoy the speaker and maybe just see what we do.
Yeah.
And then we'll have people say, well, this whole room was full with people that think like I do about gardening, you know.
Who knew, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It is good because sometimes you can get talking to somebody about gardening and you can see their eyes just glaze over because it's just not their thing.
Not their thing.
Not their thing, but that's
Right.
okay. That's why there are so many different things.
You mentioned the meetings, third Thursday of every month,
Thursday,
right?
yeah, we try to alternate between day and night meetings
Okay.
to accommodate people who are working.
Yep.
And yeah, we have a speaker or a presenter every month. And we average about, so if we have 119 people, we're averaging at a meeting probably around 60 to 65.
That's really good.
It is,
Yeah.
yeah, it is. And again, a lot of our members may not be as mobile as they used to be, but we always say, stay involved. It's only $30 to join
For
for
the
the
year,
year.
right? Yeah.
For the year.
For
So
the
it's
year.
not cost prohibitive by any means. Yeah.
I don't feel so.
Yeah.
And if there was a need, we would gladly take over your membership for you, just so
Okay.
you could stay involved.
Sure.
You know.
Your home is the Wollaston Congregational Church,
That's
right?
right.
For your meetings. So actually, there's a meeting this week, is there not?
There
Yes.
is a meeting Thursday,
Yeah.
yes, during the day.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who's your speaker this
It's John Root, and he's going to talk about bees and butterflies and all the
Pollinators.
pollinators
Yep,
that we now realize are central to keeping not only our gardens going, but our food gardens
Mm-hmm.
in the larger world. So yeah, we're looking forward to his presentation.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And then after that, it's your big sale. Saturday's the day, right, Ann?
Woohoo! Yes, we have been getting ready for this sale now. Oh my God,
Oh,
we
for
have been
almost a
out
month.
there. Yeah, we've been working on it for over a month.
Wow.
The planning starts well before the actual digging in the dirt.
I'm sure, yeah.
And many of our plants, I'm convinced that we're going to have 1,000 perennials at least
That's
ready to
kind of
go.
our norm,
And
yeah, yeah.
that's
We're
sort
lucky
of
this way. Yeah.
Yeah.
that's sort of where we end up. Yeah, but many
Variety
of the
is
plants.
good this year too.
Many of the plants are unusual this year. We've had some new donations from some interesting members, so we have some very wonderful plants. But you can see a little bit of the assortment that we brought.
And we're
but-
subject to what we can grow out of our garden, because that is the whole basis of our plant sale. We divide in our own garden. So
Yes.
first of all, you're at least saying to the person who buys it, we can grow it in our garden. It's locally able to survive.
Yes,
you
right.
know,
Right. It's a native
right.
species, right? Yeah.
We do have some. We have plenty of native species plants, and I almost brought a little tag. They're usually labeled.
Okay.
So that if people are
Natives.
interested in something that is strictly native to either, and native is kind of a broad umbrella term.
Oh.
Some natives are native to North America.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So yeah, but
Oh,
we.
so it could be from Canada even.
Yes,
Sure.
yes, absolutely. But we try to get things that are a little bit more native to our area
Okay.
and that our pollinators and our species all benefit from.
Sure.
So, but
You-
we have some great stuff this year.
And you brought some examples.
Yeah,
What
yeah,
did
we
you bring today?
Well, clearly, I love hostas. So much of Quincy is shaded. My particular ground area where I live is shaded. So most of what I have here are shade plants. And I have a beautiful variegated hosta and a beautiful variegated Solomon seal. And then a really interesting chocolate mint, which can handle, I would grow that in a container.
Okay.
That should not be left to naturalize.
Goes
It'll take
wild,
over
right?
your,
It could,
your
Yeah.
yard.
Yeah.
But we'll have, at our sale, we'll probably have maybe 15 different varieties of hostas,
Okay.
I would say.
yeah.
And I don't think
Yeah.
I'm exaggerating when I say that.
Well, there's probably over 300 varieties of hosta.
Are there?
I think there's more than that.
But not in
yeah.
not for
Not
us.
at our
but I
sale.
mean, if you actually went to a whole,
If you went to
hosta,
a nursery,
Cachado's
Yeah.
down
Cachado's
in-
and Holbrook,
on Holbrook being
there are
the best
times that
one
he has
around here,
hundreds and
yeah.
hundreds
Wow.
and hundreds
He's
of
an
varieties.
education in hosta.
Well, they are
Yeah.
great for the amateur because you really can't kill them. Right?
Cannot.
No, they're a
No.
sturdy, hardy plant,
Yeah.
and they work very well. And some can handle some sun.
Okay.
But we have many different varieties, and some smaller plants, some larger plants, different colorations, some with white flowers, some with purple flowers, some that bloom different times. And I just think
And they're always
kinda
green,
cool.
and that's the thing that is nice about a casual garden. Say if you don't have an awful lot of time to
Yeah.
spend, well, you might love the flowers of a plant, but then it doesn't show you much afterwards.
I
But a
see.
hosta, you don't grow it really for the
You grow it
flowers.
really
you
for the
grow
foliage.
it for the
Right,
foliage.
yeah.
You get a benefit of a flower eventually, but it's just it's an added benefit because all summer long you've been able to enjoy the beautiful greenery
Yeah.
that is really low care.
And they're already up this season. Mine are
Oh,
at
yeah.
least. Yeah.
Yep, they're up.
Yeah.
There are a few that were a little later, but yep, they're up.
Some
They look
things
great.
take a little bit longer.
Yeah. Now, do you have all different sizes of
We have several
plants?
different sizes.
Okay.
Yeah, we have some smaller sized ones, and then we have two different varieties this year. One's called a Big Daddy, which is like and it's
As the
a
name sounds.
Okay.
Yeah.
big.
Gonna fill a
big-
big space.
Nice.
It will, and it's
Okay.
sort of a bluish coloration, so
Okay.
they look great.
Yeah.
And then we have one called a Sum and Substance, which is sort of a chartreusey color leaf, and that's another good size one. And then we have some little teeny tiny ones that look lovely.
And while we're talking about it, can you give me one of the sticks there? So I just want to.
Oh, yeah.
Because they will be labeled right at the sale.
They're all labeled.
Yeah.
I want to clean this off a little bit.
Yeah, we-
It's
Try and
it's
keep the
been in the
studio a
dirt.
little clean.
So we try to label it as best we can
Yeah.
with, like she's saying, Sum and Substance
Yep.
is a variety. And this one here just says variegated
Variegated.
because we cannot for sure know what it is.
Oh, I see.
That's
All
a
right.
lot of times what happens
Okay.
with hosta. But on the other side, it'll tell the person.
Hold that
shade-
steady, Kathy,
oh,
so
sorry.
folks. Yeah, there you go.
Shade,
Yeah.
pot shade.
Okay.
And it helps
Perfect,
the person
yeah.
when you get it home. What did they say? Oh, the stick's telling me.
Right.
You know, so every one of them that we sell has
Will be labeled
will
like
be
that.
labeled.
And save that stick.
We tried. Yeah.
Until you get some sort of more permanent labeling.
If you're
and you
Right.
really
if you're
wanted
into
to.
labeling, you know,
Yeah.
but at least it gives the person who takes it home, okay, shade,
Yeah.
okay, sun, you know.
Now, Kathy, you have in front of you
this is-
a real kind of heritage plant, right? I mean,
Oh,
yeah.
cute.
Yeah.
Cutie, too.
Yeah.
This is a good size hen and chick.
Yeah.
It's a succulent, and we were lucky enough to get a lot of them. And look at them, the coloration on the chips and
Yep.
everything.
Kind of looks
I
like a
don't know, yeah.
cactus when I first saw it.
It has that appeal,
Yeah.
you know, but it in the right location, I guess it's going to do well because the lady who donated them to us has the right location.
Okay.
I've never seen so many, so we're
No,
lucky.
and they're
yeah,
they're beautiful.
yeah,
They're
and
beautiful.
they're very hardy.
They will naturalize
if
in-
you feel
in the right
this
spot,
is all full
fill
of
an
water.
area.
Yeah.
You know?
And I'm thinking, too, you know, some folks don't have the advantage of a large outdoor space. They may just have a balcony.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
you know, or
yeah.
a
You
small
could put this
patio.
in a pot. You could put it in a rock garden.
Right.
You can ignore it once you've done it. It really doesn't require a lot. I mean, again, it's used to being ignored in
Yeah.
nature. You know.
But
There you
quite
go.
frankly,
Yeah.
even anything like the hostas, those can go in a container.
Sure.
That's true. That's true.
It's
And,
good.
you know,
It's a good
yeah.
point because you know there are a lot of
absolutely.
apartments in the city or folks
More
that
and
have just
more.
small yards. You know, right?
Yeah, you know,
so you can
yeah,
still have some
I-
greenery.
I
Yeah.
do agree. Anything, most anything could be put in a pot.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Now, and the holder in front of you there is a construction of yours.
Yes, it
she
is.
does.
So will there be things
I
like
do-
that at the sale as well, or is it
This
just
is going
plants?
in the sale.
Okay.
Yeah, and I was going to do some sort of thing with it. I don't know
Decorative
if it'll be
thing.
separate
Good,
or
just
if
the
it'll be
way
with
it is,
plants.
you know.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, because people, I've got one like this, and I've got a small green one, like a little one that kind of looks like a toolbox
Yeah.
that I've got ready to go to.
Because I know in years past you've had ornaments.
Yeah,
you
we
know,
do. We
things
try.
Like that.
We
Yeah.
try.
Depending on
and everything's
what's
all done
available.
out of reclaimed wood and
Yeah.
things I find. So yeah.
But the majority of focus is the plants.
Oh yeah.
That's what it's all
Yeah.
about.
But
yeah.
what we want to spark people's imagination.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what can you do with this? You know, how can you like farmhouse design? Sure, here you go.
Okay.
You know, like we would like people to be inspired.
And that's the great thing too, is you'll have members there that folks can talk to, right, and ask questions
Yes.
about their particular
And master
plants.
gardeners, which to us it just means that they've really studied a lot more than we have.
Sure.
And they can answer a lot of questions. And you know, so we suggest to people that if you're trying to come to the plant sale, which is great, look at what you want. You want to fill that area?
Mm-hmm.
Well, is it a sunny area? Oh, maybe it's a shady area. Maybe you have to spend a day looking at
All
it
right.
in that regard.
Before
like,
you go, yeah.
Before you
Yeah.
go. So you're not disappointed that you bring home what you thought would work. And this happened to me. I'm
Yeah.
only in the club 13 years, believe me. It's an ongoing thing. So that's my biggest suggestion, is to look where you think you want to buy plants for. Is it shady? Is
Okay.
it sunny?
Take a picture maybe, bring that?
Oh, even better.
helps.
Okay.
Yeah, and everybody's got a capacity on their phone to do that.
Oh, sure,
You know?
yeah,
So that's
okay.
a wonderful idea.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I mean, conditions may have changed in your yard if a tree has come down or been
Oh,
taken down. You know,
absolutely.
Yeah,
it might be sunny where it
absolutely.
used to be shady, or
Yeah,
vice versa.
we had that happen with a gardening.
We've
person
all had it happen.
That
Yeah.
took down 2 really big trees, so his shade garden now
All of a
became
sudden,
sun garden.
right, yeah.
So that it happens, you
Yeah.
know.
Are there vegetables as well?
We'll have some.
Some? Okay.
A limited supply of vegetables. We're not going to have the supply that a garden center would have, but we'll have some of the common things and some annual flowers as
Okay.
well.
All right. Saturday, May 20th, 9 to noon in the driveway, right, at Wally
In the
Kong?
drive-
The driveway.
Yeah,
Get there
on Lincoln
early.
Ave. People usually kind
For
of
best
get in the line.
selection.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I suggest it too, because why not? I mean, we may have a lot of these. We may only have a couple of those.
Yes.
We can't say how many of each thing we have.
And we
you
never know. Like, what if
No.
somebody comes in early and decides, I want to fill my hens and chicks location?
Yeah. know.
So they buy every single one of them.
They might.
Yeah.
You never know.
We should point out, too, the funds raised go for your scholarships, right? Yeah,
Scholarships and programming and city projects.
absolutely.
Oh, yes.
We give a scholarship to North Quincy student, a Quincy student, and a Norfolk Acre student.
Excellent.
And, hopefully in the environmental bent, to help them get started.
Sure.
So-
Something in a related plant field.
Yeah, hopefully.
I hope you have an excellent sale again this year,
Oh,
ladies.
thanks
Thank
so
you so
much.
much. It's
All
a
right.
pleasure. Glad to feature it for you.
Thank
And
you.
I think your hens and chicks are leaking. So
Oh, no.
And you
Hate it
want-
when the hens and chicks link.
I'm glad I left the tinfoil on.
thanks again.
All righty, take
Actually,
care.
great week for getting out in the garden for the rest of this week, really. Yeah, the forecast is calling for sunshine today. Just a few high thin clouds. Look at the temperature, though, in the upper 70s this afternoon. Down to the lower 50s this evening. Even warmer tomorrow. 82 is not out of the question. The breeze will pick up on Wednesday. It'll be chillier with low 60s for highs, and then right back to full sunshine with mid 60s on Thursday. Thanks again going out to Kathy Curvels and Ann Forsman from the Wollaston
Thank you,
Garden
Joe.
Club.
Really,
Thanks for having
always-
us.
Welcome.
Always a pleasure.
Thank you for joining us. We're off on Friday, by the way, because of the Quincy College graduation ceremony that we'll be bringing you live. Join us next Monday. Margaret LaForest is here, president of the United States Naval and Shipbuilding Museum on board the USS Salem. Till then, check out our website, qatv.org. All our latest programs are there. There's news and information, video on demand, live streaming, and a whole lot more. For all of us here at QATV, I'm Joe Catalano. Have a great week.